So, good afternoon. Hope you all been having a good time, doing good things in life. So, I was pretty bored today and been working quite a lot recently, so haven't really had the time to sit down and just talk. I haven't really had the time to wind down a little, so I decided to do that today for a little bit. And now I'm sitting in a random ass place a bit farther, a minute farther from my house, and this place has quite a lot of my memories related to it, especially this place that I'm sitting at right now. This used to be the place where my childhood dog, I had a Tibetan Mastiff or Tibetan or Himalayan, I think they call them Himalayan Mastiff, basically Bote Kukur. I had a dog, a big ass dog. He was bigger than me. I was like, I don't know, 9, 10 years. He was there from the time when I was like 5 years old to around the time that I was 10, 11, 12 years old. I think he was around the time when I was 11, 12 years old or something. I think he lived like 6, 7 years. He later died in an accident. But this is the place where he used to be just sitting down and hanging out at, and that that dog would mess this whole place up, and he'd be digging everywhere. And yeah, I was so little, and it brought back a lot of memories from that time. And let's get to the point. It's already been 2 minutes and I'm just starting the video talking about some random ass shit. So what I want to talk about today is why I love listening to people, why I love listening to wise people and sometimes dumb people. I don't know. Yeah, I just love listening to people in general, and this is why I love it, because it's very rare that someone else instructs me with an idea that I haven't already had. I almost have had, I don't know, most of the time, like, I don't know, 80% of the time, when someone recommends me some kind of new idea and end up talking about that concept, I've already had some iteration, some kind of version of that idea in my mind, but I haven't really, I wouldn't have really had the time to think about it. And what I love about listening to other people is they give you a different reiteration, a different version, a polished up version, a clean up version of the idea, the pattern recognition that you already had in your mind. Now, I don't know if this makes sense, because I don't know if I had the abilities enough to convey the information, but what I mean is, let me give you an example. I was just watching a video by Dwayne from Drag Wrangler School, and yeah, there was no electricity and there was no internet, so I was kind of bored, and I had one of his videos downloaded on my YouTube. I had a lot of his videos downloaded, and I actually rewatched that video after quite a while, and the video was titled "Be Needed but Don't Be Needy." I don't want to repeat the same information all over here again, because most of all, yeah, I probably watched that video already. If you all haven't, then you can go ahead and watch it, because he speaks way better than I do, and he explains it way better than I do. But what that basically means is, mm, uh, he basically talks about, yeah, that's the healthy way of being a man, which is to be not be needy, which is to not be needy, but to be needed by your own people or by other people, just by people in general. You need to be needed. That's what he talks about. First of all, you don't be needy, because you can't be needy. You shouldn't be needy, because if you're needy, if you need someone, if you need stuff, like in a relationship, I'm just giving the same example of what he said. I don't know. I'll try giving a different example. And now let's just give the same example. Wise men, let's re-say everything. Let's repeat everything they say. Here we go. So what he says is, if if you need your woman, if you need your friend, if you need someone in a relationship, then that's you actually being selfish. Cause if you need them, then it's about you. What it should be like is you want them. You want them. And if they want you back, then it's mutual. And then y'all can have a good life. But if you need someone, if you need something, then it's about you. It's you being selfish. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't need anybody or I don't need anything. There's a lot of things I need in life, and I'm not at the level where I am properly independent. Although being independent is one of the things that I care most deeply about in my life, and there's quite a lot of reasons for that. I think we'll get into that in another video, because yeah, it's gonna be a longest video if I keep talking about my constant need to be independent or to not be under control or under anyone. It's a bit of complex thing and a mix of quite a lot of things. So we'll talk about that in another video or another day or another talk, another conversation. We'll talk about it different time. But what I was going to talk about is, yeah, so we need to be needed, because if let's say we succeed at the first thing, we don't need anyone or we are not needy. We don't actually desperately need anyone or desperately need anything. But then we might start turning a bit narcissistic, because if you don't need anyone, then what's the point of being nice to others? What's the point of being a man of service? So you might as well just. But to prevent that from happening, we need to be needed. That's what he said. He said we need to be needed. And I actually knew this thing already in my mind. Like the pattern of that was already in my mind, but I didn't have the clear code for it. Like, we don't need to be needy, but we need to be needed. I didn't have the exact framework as he put it. So yeah, that's what I love about listening to other people. They help you put together the things that you already have going on in your mind. And it can happen in any moment. Right now I'm watching at some ants climbing up a tree. I might be looking at that thing and it might help me reshape an idea that I've had in my mind all my life, and now it makes sense to me. So yeah, watching other people, listening to other people, watching things in general, that's really fun to me, and this is one of the main reasons why. But that sometimes I get overboard with it and I do it too much and I listen too much, and I end up just listening to it for entertainment and the sole purpose of not being bored instead of doing work. And I'd actually avoid working just to listen to people talk. Yeah, I sometimes do that, and yeah, I have to keep that in check by stop listening to everybody and just listen to myself for a while. But yeah, it's all about the balance, I guess. So yeah, I've always thought like this. Like, oh, even when I talk with my family, I tell them that yeah, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna make money, and I'm gonna do all these things. But if it ever comes down crashing, and if I don't end up making up anything, I'm still be fine if I'm by myself. I can still like go to some rural ass mountain and have some goats there and live like a shepherd, and I'd be fine. But I don't want to do that, because that'd be selfish. While I still have a family, while I still have people who need me, because I need to be needed. So it made sense why I think like that and why a lot of us think like that. And I don't know, this wasn't that much of a good example. Let me think of another one. Let me think for a little bit. So another example is, let me think. Yeah, that's about it. Like, yeah, I've always wanted to help other people in my life, and it, I don't know, helping random people, helping my own people, just helping in general brought a satisfaction to me, brings a satisfaction to me that nothing else can, I think. Helping is one of the most satisfactory thing for myself that I do. And thank God I get to do it quite often, but sometimes I don't get to do it because I don't get to be around a lot of people a lot of times. But when I am around a lot of people and when a lot of people need help, then I love helping. But sometimes there are some kind of twisted people who are gonna manipulate you and who are gonna make fun of you and think that they outsmarted you by making you do the work that they could have done themselves, and they give a little smirk to themselves like, they're gonna no, that just looked like a drunk guy trying to hit on you. That didn't look like a guy giving a smirk. That looked like a drunk guy trying to hit on you. That looks like a drunk guy. But like, yeah, there's gonna be people in life who'll make you do things that they could have done themselves, who didn't need you, but they just made you do it because you're easy to make. Yeah, you're easy to convince to do the work for others. So don't be so dumb to actually always get used. But yeah, sometimes you end up getting used, and I don't really mind as long as I'm aware that I'm being used and I'm still like letting them do it, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that makes sense a little bit more after listening to him, and after I listened to him, a lot of memories came flooding back, and I remembered a lot of conversation that I had with a lot of other people, and it all makes sense now. So that's what I love about listening to people, and that's what I love about sitting down and thinking and listening to people in my head or something. I don't know. The people in my head is just me, but like different versions of it or something. I might be sounding a little mentally ill, but like, I don't know. I think we all do it time to time. I think most of us all do it time to time, like talking in our head. And I don't know. I mean, especially for me, like there's a council inside of my head, and there's like, I don't know. There can be however amount of people I want in my head, thinking and talking about something all inside of my head while I'm like doing a random ass thing. And I don't know. Maybe that's just me overthinking or something, but it's pretty it's pretty fun sometimes and it's pretty useful sometimes, but it also has a lot of drawbacks. And yeah, that might be a bit of a problem, but like, I don't know, I just have it and I don't know how to make it go away. So yeah, sometimes listening is really fun, and listening helps quite a lot. That may be listening to others, that may be observing others, that may be listening to the things that cannot speak. I'm still looking at the ants. Yeah, not listening, like observing. You'll get what I'm saying. Like, just observing in general is pretty useful in our lives a lot of times, and makes us, it makes a path for all your ideas to connect. Like, it ends up making a little channel inside of your head. I'm starting to speak in tech bro terms again, but it makes channels inside of your head where your thoughts can connect with one another, and it starts to make sense. So yeah, that's what happens when you listen to people a lot of times, and that's what I love about listening to people. I don't know what else. I'm like an old 1960s generator or something, cause once I started speaking, I just like, ah, I don't start yapping in front of camera as easily, but once I start doing it, I just can't stop. I just keep running and running and running and running and yappity yappity yap yap. That's how it goes. But yeah, I don't know what else I should say. Yeah, well, let's see what. I mean, I always end up finding something to talk about. Yeah, other thing I wanted to talk about is, yeah, it can be like a video title for a separate video, but I'm gonna just talk it all in one go. And I'm not an influencer, so why do I need to post multiple videos about different topics when I can just talk about all of them in one? So yeah, if I speak in like, I don't know, the Instagram terms or something, or YouTube terms or something, the title of my video would be, yeah, authenticity is the new meta. Now, I didn't know what the fuck meta meant until I was until it was a while ago. I don't know, like 2 years ago or something. I used to watch a lot of Hamza's videos at that time, and he explained what meta meant in one of his videos. I forgot which one. So yeah, the meta basically means like a thing that's trending or a thing that works right now, and the thing that's gonna work for forever, I guess, is being authentic. And it's not that being authentic got a new meaning or being authentic got more priority. It's just that the other things are starting to get stripped away. For example, in a few years, I mean, it can still do it right now, but it doesn't do it that good. But in a few years, I think AI is gonna be able to edit videos pretty efficiently and pretty good. And already a lot of people using AI are replacing, like, yeah, I can use AI and replace like 10 employees of an office right now, like right now, with the limited experience and the limited knowledge that I have. I think I can still, like in the last project that I worked on, there were like 30 people. I think I could have, if I knew all the AI stuff at that time, I think I could have replaced like, I don't know, at least 5 to 10 of them, just because 5 to 10 of them with 2 3 AI users. That's the important part. You don't get completely replaced by AI, you get replaced by people using AI. So I could replace 5 to 10 people that manually did the work by 2 to 3 people who did the work with AI. So yeah, the AI is gonna be pretty good at editing videos. So in a few years, it wouldn't matter how many long hours you put into editing your videos if it's just about efficiency. So what would help at that time is being authentic to yourself and having your own style. For example, I don't know, let's say Ajay Thapamagar. He's a pretty good filmmaker and a video editor that I really like. He has his way of making videos and his way of color grading that's pretty unique to him, and he shows, and it complements his personality. It's related to him. So I don't think he's gonna go out of business, even though video editors will get replaced eventually. And I think pretty sooner than we expect it to be. Maybe in next year or something. I don't really know. But yeah, most of them are gonna be get stripped away from their work because most of them are about just delivering the work. Most of them are just about knowing how to use the tools and knowing how to deliver, knowing how to cut the videos. But it doesn't matter. Someone else can learn how to cut the videos. For example, we're offering $60 for a video. Some random guy from India would do that for $20 if it's just about the skills, if it's just about the technical skills. So it's more as to being authentic and as to showing yourself, expressing yourself through the things that you do that would make you relevant rather than just randomly learning the technical stuff. I mean, you need technical stuff, but technical stuff without your art, without your form of expression, is gonna be pretty useless eventually. Like, for example, careers with web development and, I don't know, careers that are pretty highly technical, that don't really require, they don't require any feeling from a human being. They just require you to think. They don't require you to express anything. They don't require you to come up with anything. Yeah, they require you to come up with the new ways to use the tool, but they don't require you to create something on your own most of the time. So the degrees, the people with that degrees, that kind of degrees, are already not getting any jobs. But the same people in the same jobs that have a little bit of more thinking capabilities, like let's say web developers. There are two kind of web developers, as far as I can see. No, I'm not technical. I've never built any website in my entire life, so I'm not talking in that kind of terms. I'm just using it as an example. So there's a guy who can make a website out of the instructions given to him by a senior who came up with the idea. And there's another guy who's in his basement creating some random ass website out of the random ass idea that he came up with himself. So the guy that came up with the idea, he's gonna be relevant because it's the idea that matters. He's gonna be relevant even though the technical skills of making a websites are getting replaced and will get replaced. The guy that has the idea, the guy that has the unique way of thinking that he has to himself, the guy that has the unique way of solving problems that he has to himself, it's never gonna die out. So yeah, that's why I think authenticity is the new meta. Now, so right below me there's a road, and there's gonna be people walking there, and they can't see me because I'm hidden by the trees and shit. So I don't know, they might get kind of confused, and the place that I'm nearby is known for being haunted. So I don't know, I might end up spooked in quite a not, not a few. I mean, barely anyone walks here by like in 1 2 hours. Maybe 1 2 people would walk by here, so it's not really big of a concern. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, being authentic, and having authenticity is the thing that matters, I think. And yeah, if you started thinking like this, I think a lot of things in life would make sense. Like, yeah, here's the thing. Let's say about making friends. Now, I'm not a super popular guy, but I've had a lot of friends, and I end up getting along with new people pretty easily, and I've made friends in pretty weird ways, where people around me shut down doing nothing and not connecting with any people. I've end up forcing myself to connect with new people, and I don't even force myself. I just do it for the love of the game. And I'm not that good at it, but I've had some experience. And the thing is, I came from being a guy who didn't talk to anyone, the guy with his hands in his pockets, and the guy who didn't talk to his own friends when he saw them on the way. I came from being that guy to being relatively good at making new friends. So yeah, I think I should talk about it. Yeah, when making friends, you can either go one of two ways. One way you can go is you kind of just put on a show for others. You kind of just force yourself to listen to things you don't want to listen to. You kind of force yourself to hang out with people that you don't want to hang out with, because those are the friends you have. And yeah, maybe you don't drink, and maybe you don't like the conversation that they're having, but you still sometimes force yourself to sit down there and listen to them. And yeah, sometimes you might even drink just because they're drinking, and you might end up forcing yourself to do those things. Now, I've done those things a lot of times. I'm not saying I'm the good one. I've done those things quite a lot, a hell lot of times. And I haven't drunk out of peer pressure, but like you're staying in the circles that you don't belong to just because you have someone to hang out with is something that we've all been a victim of. Now, there's two ways you can go. You can either go down that way, or you can either go down the authentic way. That's where you just go out there and be yourself and talk it out. And the people that don't even like to be into the stuff, sorry, they don't even need to be into the stuff that you talk about. You just need to be talking about it with passion and being your authentic self and talking about it. I mean, I think I'm giving more pressure on that authentic self thing. We're not all authentic, all right? You can't curate the most authentic version of yourself. What I'm saying is just, it's like an onion. Just peel out the outer layers of putting on a show for other people. And if you just go up to a stage and talk about some things with such emphasis and such determination in your eyes, in your hands, in your movements, then people are gonna end up liking you, no matter how you look, no matter what you talked about. I've had people come up to me and try to be friends with me after I went on in front of like a lot of people and talked about fucking porn addicts. I talked about porn addiction once in front of the whole classroom, and there were some not guy. No, I mean, I don't want to judge other people. Like, yeah, but typical, like, they were the guys who were good at studying, and yeah, they were pretty misunderstood by other people. And a lot of them dudes, I never had talked with them, but After that presentation that I did, gave, not presentation, I just went up there and talked about it. And yeah, I was talking about bad things about social media, and the thing came up to my man, and I talked about it. And yeah, I actually felt shit after talking about it. And even after I went home, I mean, it doesn't happen to me that much nowadays, but like on that particular day, I think I thought maybe I went too overboard, and maybe I did. But the way that I talked about it, and the way that I always just yapped, and that I always just didn't wanna, that I didn't put on any exterior show, at least from my POV. Other people might be thinking that this guy is putting on a show, but for me, I put on the least amount of show as much as possible, and like the least amount of show that I could put on for other people. And just I just talked about what I wanted to talk about, and those dudes ended up talking to me and shaking my hand and saying like, "Oh, we didn't know you talk like that, and we thought you didn't talk that much. You're pretty good at talking. I wanna talk about more things with you." And that happened a lot of times. Like just being yourself and acting like yourself. There's gonna be some people out there, yeah, being your authentic self. You're not gonna get liked by a lot of people, and a lot of people in general, a lot of girls, a lot of guys, a lot of kids, a lot of older people. You're not gonna get liked by everyone, but if you keep being yourself and you keep being authentic, by being yourself, I don't mean being mean and using it as an excuse to be mean to others and to not ever change. Being yourself is actually showing that you lack it, and you're trying to change it and actually try to change it. Being yourself is sometimes being yourself means also to sit down and listen to some particular thing that you're not particularly interested in, but the person in front of you is so talking it with so much emphasis, and he's pouring his heart out. But I'm not particularly interested in that topic, and I don't even particularly like that guy, let's say. But the part of being me is that I sit down and listen to that guy, because yeah, maybe that guy would end up having a good day, and maybe some random ass thing that I say just for the love of yapping might end up triggering some kind of thought in his brain, and he might end up making changes, and just he just might end up enjoying the conversation and end up getting entertainment out of it. I don't mind it. Yeah, that's me being me. But for you, it might be different. For you, being true to yourself might mean that getting the fuck out of the conversation when you're not interested in it. That might be being you for you, but being me for me is just doing that. And there's a lot of things that are unique to me, and I mean those things are unique to other people as well, but the combination of different things that are unique to me would always be me. And yeah, being authentic doesn't mean you don't change, or you just I don't know, expel out everything out of your mind and everything out of your heart and start blabbering about it. You don't have to talk about everything with everyone. You just have to put on the least amount of fakeness possible. That being said, sometimes you have to actually put on a bit of fakeness in life for things to go smooth. I'm not opposing of that. I'm just saying don't make it a habit. Do it, but do it consciously. But a lot of people, and yeah, since we're talking about other people like aunties anyway, there was one guy in particular, and yeah, I hung out. I mean, I had to be in the same environment as that guy for quite a while, and a lot of people there noticed that the guy was actually just putting on a show and showing a different version of himself and never been true to himself. And we ended up having a lot of deep kind of talks, not particularly with that guy only, but like with that guy present. And that guy never actually broke out of his shell, but we could see through it. So that guy was actually just naked in front of us, if you know what I'm saying. Like we could see through him. And here's a pretty funny example that I gave. Let's say you're naked. Now, if you're naked anyway, why don't you do yourself a little help and stop covering up yourself like this? Because, like, if you're naked and people could see through you anyway, might as well just sit down and relax and let them see it. Because you're gonna look pretty awkward if you're naked and if you're like this. If you're naked and you're just sitting there like this, then it's gonna be awkward for other people, but you're not gonna get awkward. Pretty fucking odd example to give, and it's just me thinking out loud. It's not even me trying to teach anyone anything. This is just me thinking out loud, and I don't know, kind of just clearing out the junk in my mind. So yeah, that's about it for now. I'm gonna I'm gonna walk up there and eat some natural fruit kind of thing, whatever the hell this is. It's pretty tasty, so I'm gonna eat these, and then I'm gonna go walk, and then I'm gonna go post this video. And I'm thinking I should stop posting these videos in the server as well, cause it's just me randomly yapping, and I don't even have a particular goal with these. Yeah, I wanted to I don't know, I wanted to improve my speaking skills in front of a camera, but I have a feeling I can do that pretty fine. So yeah, I might just end up recording these and keeping it in my YouTube for my future version to see and for no one else. And if I'm blessed enough to have enough time, then I'm gonna make properly cut and properly with a proper structure. I'm gonna make some videos and I'm gonna post those publicly. I think, or whatever, just fuck it. let's post these apps as well. I don't mind. I don't know why that thought came to my mind, but I've been thinking about it. Yeah, let's keep posting these apps as well. I don't think anybody minds. If they don't want to see me app, then they could say that to my face. I don't really mind.